likes us, and hopefully it will be good and not awful. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, I can roll with that.
All right, we can roll, and we're gonna roll right now. Welcome everybody to Babetalk, Suppy Suppy. We are here with Adam of Stepsisters.
What's up?
Sup, Adam? How's it going tonight?
Pretty good, man.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, those that are gonna go that came here from Stepsisters Facebook page, you might see that there's incorrect information on there. That's not me. Welcome to Babe Talk. There's always something that goes wrong, and it's either by error of internet or by error of me. And in this case, it was by error of me. So if you came here looking for other members, I am so sorry. And to those that had the mini heart attack of, oh shit, we had an interview tonight, my bad. You could take that out on me on the internet later. I'll eat it up. So how are you doing, Adam? How's everything working out for you right now?
Pretty good, man. Just hanging out, laying low. I'm mixing some new tunes as we speak. I was doing that earlier today, and they're sounding pretty good.
Sick. All right. Who are you mixing for?
It's,
If we are allowed to divulge
yeah,
that
it's
information.
it's stepsisters for sure.
I saw that there was some talk of you guys putting out some new songs, right?
Yeah, we're thinking about maybe doing something for the summer, maybe a 7 inch
Nice.
kind of thing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with these tunes.
Yeah, I mean, like it's nice when you guys like kind of like work for yourselves. You don't have like you have like a budget you guys want to keep up, but you also have like the leisure of doing it yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And until we can afford to, pay somebody 10, 20, 50 grand to mix a song, we're okay with how stuff's going right now.
Exactly, because you know how easy it is to just find like 10,000 bucks laying around.
Yeah, just write a check. It's no big deal.
Just write a check. Do people still write checks anymore?
I don't know. Maybe for that.
When it comes to the big bills, see, I don't know like that part of the music industry. So every time I hear kids like say like, yeah, like we paid so and so like X amount of money, I'm like, do you just show up with briefcases? Like I'm thinking this is kind of like a Liam Nielsen kind of deal going down.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, well, I don't know. Maybe Venmo and PayPal are the way to go now. Pretty much everybody's doing that.
That is actually very true. The e-commerce are very predominant since like I think one of the ones say like 2 years ago they started poking their head out.
Yeah, at least majorly.
Yeah, like I think PayPal just had their first commercial broadcast during the Super Bowl, so they did it in like a huge way. They're just like, hey, we know we've been around for a while, but just in case you forgot, here's new marketing for something that's already well established. It was like, damn, they ain't hurting.
No, no, not too bad.
But that is very cool. So before we start the show, I do have to make mention to our awesome partners. Well, not partners. I wish they were partners. That means I would see money. But our awesome sponsors that work alongside of us, they do something for us. Terminus Tees. Terminus Tees is an awesome graphic design merch site that helps you out with your merchandise. If you're stuck on an idea on what to put on your t-shirts, they're like, yo, we're creative and we got the tools and shit, and you're like, oh fuck, that's less work that I got to worry about, and I get to make money off it. So it's a pretty like symbiotic relationship that you can develop with these kids. They don't have a sale going on right now, but I'm sure that if you were to go find them on Facebook at facebook.com/terminus or on their website, you'll be found to find sale because mouth works well. You can sign up for their newsletter and also find out when they have their next sales. So check that shit out, terminus and also Oakleaf Media. They produce music videos for people, and they've also been working closely with a few other artists that have been on the podcast and not on the podcast. We've had Amanda Hearns on the podcast and also do in-house acoustic shit for Oakleaf Media, which is bomb. It's dank, it's cool, it's hip, it's rad, all those adjectives that the kids use. So go check that shit out. It's very awesome. Oakleaf Media, Terminus Tees, they keep the show from collapsing at the seams and people looking at us. So that's pretty awesome. But you know who else is awesome? Adam is, and we're gonna be talking with him. So fuck all the rest of the. Well, not fuck them. But let's put them to the side for the current moment, and let's talk about the last few days. We start off this show all the time with asking our guests how their past few months were. So let's hear it. How was your past few months, sir?
For stepsisters, it was pretty quiet. At least March was quiet. We kind of took March off to, well, we did some writing and they were opening a new restaurant, so it was tougher to take off work for some of that stuff. But we uh, we did a couple of really cool shows. We had our EP release in February, which was an awesome time. Packed out the basement here in Nashville, which is a cool venue. Um,
Hmm.
and then yeah, so March was pretty quiet, and then once April hit, we really kicked it into high gear. Clint and I have both been writing a lot, and we uh, we recorded these five new tunes at my house or house studio, I guess you'd call it. It kind of transforms once all the gears in here. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, other than that, like yesterday and a couple days before that, we were doing vocal overdubs, and that's been pretty much it. Just writing, recording, and doing the damn thing.
Doing the damn thing. That's like my favorite phrase, and I just heard it recently. One person's like, "Just do the damn thing." I'm just like, "Yo, true." Like you just gotta get up and do the damn thing.
Yeah.
It's a great motivational piece. But what about like on like a more like on a more relaxation level? Like, was there anything that like did you get a dog? Did you buy a new car?
No,
Like, what was
I already have two dogs, and that's enough. I have two dogs and a
oh
chicken actually,
puppies
but
and a chicken?
and a chicken. Yeah, free eggs. You know, it's cool.
That's actually very true.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the weather's
So
been
like
decent, so we've been getting out, doing some hiking for sure, getting some sunlight. Been locked in for most of the winter, so it's nice to be able to get outside finally.
that's very true. Now, if you can like paint a picture for me of because you guys are from Nashville, I've always imagined it to be a little bit of a very metropolitan area, but I've been recently learning that it's a little bit more like it has its countryside too, and there's just a lot more to it than just like brick and music.
Yeah.
Like you just said, there's hiking around. What's paint a if you could like just paint like a quick picture for Nashville for me who's up all over the Mason-Dixon line.
Well, I mean, the music is definitely plays a big part. I mean, you can't. It's cool because you can kind of go out any time of the week without a plan and find somewhere to see some live music. That's in the city itself, kind of. There's also been a huge like restaurant boom. There's so many cool places to eat and new bars. A lot of cool cocktail bars are coming up. But that's kind of in a 10-mile radius of downtown Nashville. And then once you get outside of there, you get into different neighborhoods and, yeah, the countryside of things. The rolling
That's
hills.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty all like the Rolling Hills and everything. So like you have a kind of like not to quote, the great lyrics as Hannah Montana, but you have the best of both worlds, I guess you could kind of say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're willing to drive for 20 minutes, you can kind of get out in the wilderness a little bit.
That's not bad either. That's like a trip into town for me. 20 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
it's,
bad.
it's not that bad.
Oh, that's actually really cool. Now, what would be the one thing that you say that you enjoy the most out of the Nashville area?
Um, I mean, it's tough not to say, music, but I gotta say, all the new restaurants and bars. Really, maybe it's because I work in one now, but um, there's some really interesting stuff. Nashville's kind of coming into its own. It's growing up a lot. Um,
Hmm.
I've read something like there's 1,000 people moving here a week. I don't know if that's still going on, but with all those people, they're bringing a lot of cool stuff to town.
Oh wow, so it's kind of now becoming like a more of like a cultural melting pot, I guess, because they're coming from all different types of places all to this one
Yeah,
place. That's
yeah.
actually
Like
pretty
I know a lot
interesting.
of people from that come from New York, that come from LA, come from the Northwest. Like Clint is from Oregon originally, so everybody's kind of coming down right now.
Huh. I would have never expected not to talk shit on, you know, Tennessee at all, but I
Oh
never
yeah,
thought
it's
that it
growing
would
a
be
lot.
like one of those areas that, yeah, that's very, very interesting. That's cool. So, Yeah, let's now take this time. We now have a portrait of the area in which you guys are from. Let's start to just get into this band that I've stumbled upon via email. Very cool. Very interesting when you run a podcast, you learn new music. Who the fuck knew? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you questions. You can, answer them. You can tell me to fuck off, and I'll, proceed with a new question if it so comes across that manner. But
All right.
let's just get it. Let's jump. So we have this band. If you could just give a quick synopsis of the band and your position in Stepsisters.
Yeah. So Stepsisters is kind of your typical four-piece, two guitars, bass, drums. I'm the lead guitarist and also vocalist. Clint Wilson and I kind of share vocal responsibilities. He maybe sings like 2/3 of the songs. Maybe I sing about a third of them. That was never like a pre-arranged thing. It was just kind of like he had some songs and I had some songs, so we just decided to share. Neither one of us wanted to be like the guy, and so we thought it was best just to share that responsibility. And then Nate Smith plays drums, nasty Nate Smith, and then Matt Johansson is on
Yeah.
bass. Yeah, Clint and Matt went to Belmont University here in Nashville. I think Matt maybe did music business. I think Clint did something like marketing. I don't know what he did actually, but I've known Nate Smith from way back when. We went to high school together in Chattanooga, and I've been playing music with him since I was like 15.
Hmm. Nice. That's actually pretty cool when you have like a long-standing relationship with someone. It makes it a little bit easier to develop that chemistry over time, and that way it kind of like spills over to the music that you guys produce, which is very nice.
Yeah, it's become pretty easy to read the guys like while we're jamming, or it's easy to tell what direction somebody's going to go without having to talk about it, which makes for a really nice experience.
No, absolutely, 100%. So now we're looking at the band. You were playing with the one member for forever since you said you were 15, and you're now a little bit older. How was the like the initial development of the band? Like how did you guys like all come together and just say like, oh shit, we sound good
Yeah.
together?
Um, so Nate and I had started this kind of blues rock project, and we needed a bass player, and he worked with Matt, and so he just hollered at him, asked if he wanted to play, and we jammed a few times. And apparently, we never played a show. We'd only, jammed a few times at the house. And then they were out having beers with Clint. And Clint, apparently, the story is apparently Clint was like, you know what you guys need is me to play guitar. So he kind of injected himself into what we were doing. And he came over, and I think the first song we played was a Tame Impala song, Elephant. We just kind of jumped into it, and it felt good, so we stuck with it.
Nice. That's very cool. Around what time was this? Like year wise, like time period?
Uh, would have been 2014,
Hmm.
around this time, 2014.
Hmm. So you guys are still like a relatively like fresh band.
Yeah, yeah.
How long do you think it took for you guys to I guess because you guys would you jam, you would mesh well, you would figure out what you guys had enjoyed to play. But when did you like start to solidify your sound? Because like I was talking to you before, it's a very cool infusion of like punk undertones while still keeping like I don't want to say like a heavy bluegrass, but like desert comes to my mind. And when I think of desert, you think of like a little bit of like 68, Cage the Elephant, White Stripes, like a little bit like that.
Cool. Um, I don't know. It wasn't really a conscious thing. All I know is when we started playing, we we all just we were in a place where we just wanted to play faster and louder, and whatever we were doing at the time wasn't really scratching that itch. So
Hmm.
we kind of pushed each other to make it a little bit heavier.
Nice. And it's good that you guys have each other to bounce off of too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't. This is. I've played a lot of people, and this is by far the best I've felt playing music with some dudes. I think they would say the same.
That's great, especially when it clearly you guys are doing something right. So that's fantastic.
We think so. We're gonna try to keep it going.
True, true. So let's take a look into your past a little bit. What was the initial thing that got your musical bone going?
Um, so the first time I played guitar was in second grade. I kind of just thought it was a cool thing to do. There was no real drive to. I didn't even know any music. Like when I took guitar lessons, um, I was to the point where the teacher wanted me to bring in songs to learn, and I didn't even have any cassettes
Okay.
being in third grade or whatever. So I just brought in a tape from my dad's truck, and it was Meatloaf. And the teacher was like, "You want to learn Meatloaf, and you're fucking 8 years old or whatever." I was like, it started out a little weird, but I stopped for a few years, and then I heard. I picked it back up when I was about 13, and I really went into high gear whenever I first heard Zeppelin. That's definitely my go-to inspiration. It's actually one song in particular I heard the first time I heard "Song Remains the Same" in the guitar army that descends throughout that song. Uh, yeah, so I picked up the guitar and haven't really put it down since.
That's really cool. So then, like, and now you're saying that you've begun to play with other individuals from around the area in which you were in. What was like the first band that you had ex ex exposed yourself to? Had the experience of playing with. That sounds a lot better than
Yeah,
expose yourself to.
um, it was just some dudes that I went to school with. Um, kind of similar to most other guys, just playing in a garage, trying to learn Nirvana songs. Eventually, everybody kind of got into the jam band scene, so it wasn't uncommon for me and my classmates to just play the same thing for like 30 minutes. Which I think about it
I
now
love
is pretty
that.
funny, but um, yeah, it was just everybody that I went to school with or was friends with had some kind of musical inclination. So we just
Mhm.
got together and made it happen. The first time I played out, though, wasn't probably until I was 16.
And at that time, you had started playing with the other members, right?
Yeah, well, with Nate, for sure. He had been in a few bands. He's a couple years older than me, and he was in the band, and he's always been good at drums. And the first time I played with him, I was like, man, I want to keep playing with this guy because he kind of knows what's up. So I've done a good job in keeping with him.
That's very true. So when did the transition start between like playing an instrument and figuring out because you're an engineer, you're a sound engineer,
Hmm.
and figuring out that you kind of want to hone your talent for music and help out other people, if not yourself.
Um, well, I mean, since I started playing, I always wanted to record what I was doing on the guitar. I started out with like a little Tascam cassette recorder, had like 4 tracks on it.
Mhm.
Um, I graduated to some little this giant uh, kind of hard disk of a Boss multi-track recorder, and that was my first time getting able to kind of fuck around with effects. So I developed uh, kind of a language, a musical language for twisting knobs and pushing faders and stuff. And then I was just kind of the guy that knew how to do that. So when people wanted to record stuff, I was always jumping to get at it.
That's really cool. Now, the way that I'm forming this in my head, it's gonna sound weird. So see if you can keep up with me, and I'm gonna try and pretend like I'm an actual journalist.
All right.
Um, so you have the ability to kind of like go through and post and then like added different effects and like like put a different tone on something. And do you guys map that out when you guys are playing music? And do you think that with you as a engineer fueled a little bit more creativity when you initially start? Because I know a lot of bands that they'll just like they'll have their demos and say like, yeah, this is great, and then when it comes to record, they'll like say, oh shit, this sounds better, and like So what's the initial like creative process when it comes to that stuff?
Um, so I guess number one is we play the shit out of the song. Um, that's just you know rule number one. We just get to where we're comfortable with every part. We tweak whatever we have to before we step into a recording situation, and also so that none of us wanted to do like separate tracking. Like we don't want to do just drums and then have bass go the second day. So every time we record, we all play live together. All the
That's cool.
bands we like and all the recordings we're fond of, that's how they did it. And we think rock and roll needs to be a live experience with everybody playing at the same time. So we kind of map it out, but not too heavily. We more do that kind of with overdubs and stuff. Adding, we don't do anything really crazy as far as production goes, because that's the other side of it. Like, there's so many tools you can use to, modulation and crazy ass delays, but we're trying to be creative, but also kind of restrain that so that we can get the raw picture out there.
Because I know the one thing I've always appreciated about what I call like the desert rock kind of music is that it's raw. It's a little lo-fi and like not too like the extreme effect as like other like grunge bands would do, but like they've always held that type of here it is, it's right here. There's really nothing more than what we're putting out right here. And like do you think that's like a reflection like off your guys' personality, like how you guys play the music, especially when like live too?
Yeah, most definitely. Because it stems from the practices too, and from writing the stuff. Because if you can be in a dank, smelly ass basement with three guys and not really care about that, and you just play some music and you feel really good about yourself, and everybody else feels it too, then there's no reason to do anything but that when we step into the recording situation. Because like I think that's all we're trying to do is like, oh fuck, that was cool. Let's recreate that for everybody else.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. That's an awesome mentality. So let's go into writing as well, because like now like getting to know your personality seems as if you're more of like like an all around. There's a word. Can't pull it from the cloud. Kind of like a renaissance when it comes to creativity. Um, the writing aspect, like from when you were a kid, like you just kind of like stumbled onto the guitar, and then like you kind of found yourself playing with like Meatloaf and stuff like that. And you and Clint also like you write the lyrics between each other. Where did the inclination come from to even start like writing lyrics as well?
Um, that is it was kind of a separate thing. Um, in high school, I kind of got into poetry a lot, so whatever I wrote was always poems, and I always wrote in stanzas. Um, Not necessarily rhyming like that. I mean, obviously, whatever I wrote as a poem when I was 16 is just complete utter shit. But it got me into the habit of writing in stanzas
Hmm.
and just kind of the I don't know, just it was an easy it was an easy way for me to get into it because a song to me was just a concise version of a long, you know, complex poem. Unless you're Bob Dylan, in which case it can be a long, complex poem.
Very true. So when you guys had started writing music together, did you guys find that because you were telling me earlier with like the bouncing off each other when you find yourself in a rut musically, you guys obviously like click very well with the songwriting too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we. I remember the first time. that I had trouble with a song, and I brought it to Clint, and I was actually kind of nervous because I'd never done this kind of co-writing thing, and we both write stuff that's really personal, or at least comes from a personal place.
Mhm.
Fears, desires, all that stuff goes into it, and it's kind of scary to show somebody how fucked up you are in the head. So I was a little nervous the first time I approached him about it, and maybe he was for me as well. But as soon as I like told him the idea and kind of told him the language I was using to go through it, he was nothing but supportive and jumped right into helping that vision come to life.
Nice. Then that's really cool. Like it's always so good to like see people like I guess when you look at bands and you see their like their camaraderie, they're just like oh yeah we're buddies. But then like you also have to realize there's so much creativity that goes into songs and music that there's so much room for clash.
Yeah, yeah. No, we all get along great outside of playing music, which plays a big part in it. And I think my favorite part about this group is there's not a lot of ego rolling around, and because that's the one
Mhm.
thing I've found that'll destroy making music with somebody is if their ego gets in the way, and that never really happens with us.
That's cool. So let's start to talk about how you got started coming into now like making your debut into the actual music scene all in itself.
Mm-hmm.
When was the time that you guys said because like you said as you guys have said like 2014 is when you guys started like rolling around the dirt with the music. When did you guys like start to premiere it out to your for the public to hear?
So really soon after we started, like our first gig, I think was maybe 6 months after we started playing. We had maybe three songs I had written, and then we had two originals, um, and then we played like four covers for the first show just because we needed material. I think we played.
Hmm.
I can't remember what we played. We played a song by Death, and we played a Misfit song. I can't remember what else there was, but yeah, we knew pretty soon that we just wanted to get out there and do it.
Sick. That's really cool. And like you were saying earlier, there's just so much music within the Nashville community. How was it standing out in a literal sea of music? Like you guys are like in the music capital of the world. How is it trying to break yourselves out of that?
Um, I don't know. We've got a lot of friends that are in the scene too, and it's not like I mean, I guess it's competitive, but everybody's really supportive. Supportive. I would call it I mean, it's a good community of people to have
Hmm.
around. So you get good feedback. You get honest feedback from people who are musicians. Some successful touring musicians who can be like, "Hey, why don't you do this, that, or the other, or you should hit this town and this bar, or whatever." And I think that's the one thing is the more we get out there, also the more offers we get. Somebody sees us at one show, wants us to play a gig with their band on a different show. But
Hmm.
I don't know about the other guys, but I moved to Nashville specifically because it's Music City, and I wanted the challenge to have to stand out because it's kind of like you got to put up or shut up, and without that kind of without being on the edge, you got nothing to push you. So I think for us, it's nice to have all these great people around us and all this great music because then it pushes us to do something different and and stand out creatively. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely does. So, have you guys seen the positive reception that you guys were hoping to achieve with the pushing of yourselves and trying to stand out in a very large scene? Because it can be hard, and I don't think there will be like a single person be like, no, yeah, it is a challenge out there.
Uh, I mean, I think we have. There's always going to be bad gigs. There's always going to be slim crowds, especially when you're a fresh band. But we always, if like, we always treat a slim crowd like we would any other one. If there's literally nobody there, then it's just kind of a glorified practice. But that doesn't really happen that often.
I,
Um,
that's good.
the cool thing is, like, people would be honest with us, I believe, like all the friends that come to shows or even strangers, because somebody will tell you suck if they think so. And we haven't really had that problem. Uh, People have been really receptive, really pumped about the energy we bring. I think people are excited to hear something loud and fast again, and from people who really just want to get after it.
True. What would you say would be the predominant genre out there? Now, I have an assumption that it's like it's it's a little country, but then again, I'm just a Yank that's up here, and I'm just peering down.
Oh, for Nashville,
But
you
I know
mean?
each scene kind yeah, for Nashville, because I know a lot of different scenes and different like communities. Like their scene has different predominant like metalcore is up here, and like
Yeah.
Long Island, Jersey's pop punk, Philly's pop punk.
Um, Yeah, I mean, countries, you can't escape it because it's everywhere. It's like it's the kind of the lifeblood of the city. But I don't know if you've heard any contemporary country, but it's almost not country anymore. They're pretty much just pop songs. Other than that, there's a big.
It's so weird.
It's yeah, it's awful. It's really awful. I can't stand it. The only person that
Yeah.
stands out to me is Sturgill Simpson. Um, I guess people call him psychedelic, like alt country or whatever. But he has really
Okay.
earnest songs and honest songs, and he performs them well. But I guess it would be a tie between the most visible, probably the singer songwriter genre, because everybody wants to be a
Oh,
songwriter here.
okay.
And then,
Hmm.
but beyond that, I mean, rock and roll and garage is really, really taken off. I mean, there's so many bands, um, and there's it's hard to go out and not meet somebody that you know and meet somebody that doesn't play music. Pretty much everybody can do something. So, but besides the singer
That's
songwriter thing, definitely rock and roll is having a resurgence.
hmm. Now, how is because this is something that I just me personally I've always enjoyed about different scenes is how DIY culture like certain scenes can be, but I know in like a very metropolitan area in a very like musically driven area, sometimes you would kind of be missing that like DIY experience. But like, how strong would you say that like the self promoters that are out there that are just like looking directly just for bands and not just like like the and there's no stigma attached to this, but like the bar bands that they'll go and
Yeah,
they'll like do that.
um, it's pretty healthy. I mean, the community's strong, and people, everybody just wants to help everybody out. There's a few kind of, I guess they're called art collectives, DIY spaces that have some pretty cool shows. The house show is always a cool thing to run into. It doesn't happen as much now, but um, they're always a good time. But it's pretty healthy. I mean, there's a healthy amount of people that don't want to play in a bar or don't want to play in a because sometimes like a nice venue with a huge sound system isn't going to cut it for a up and coming garage band. So throw a party in the
Hmm.
house. Hopefully, it's not too nice a house and just wreck shit.
Exactly.
We've done that a few
So
times at the house we practice at. We just move everything aside, put it in the garage, um, put the drums against the wall, and blast it out.
give a nice floor show. True, true, true.
Yeah,
And it's fun. Like it can sometimes create a more intimate relationship with your fans. Because I'm
yeah,
like, it, it's kind of like when you have musicians and you'll look at them and you kind of like put them on a pedestal a little bit. When you throw them on stage, it's a little bit of a like, oh hey guys, like what's going on? You guys doing it? But when you go to house shows, it's like, yo, we're literally in the same house as you.
yeah. It takes it kind of takes the screen out from the middle of you and the crowd, which is a cool thing.
Hmm. That is very cool. So, who would you say would be the your buddies in the scene as far as bands go?
Um, There's a lot of guys.
Hashtag time to shout out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our buddies are in a band called the Gag Gods. Actually recorded a couple of songs for them, and they've got I don't know if it's a full length or an EP that is coming out, but they're really cool. It's just a three piece, which is different. It's piano, drums, and guitar.
Hmm.
It is, but they're pretty heavy. It's two brothers on piano and guitar. So the Gagas are really sick. Who else? There's so many. Oh, we played with this band called Heinous Orca. Um, we played this one gig where like three of the four bands had it was like an adjective and then an animal, and Heinous Orca was was one of those. But they're really cool. Definitely more punk than anything, I would say. Who else we got? Oh yeah, there's a band called the Loch Ness Mobsters. I believe they're from Austin though. And
Sick.
I don't know, man. There's a bunch of people playing out, and it's hard to recall all of them. Sky Temple Blues, a pretty good band we played with recently. Um, Damn, I'm trying to remember all these shows. It's hard.
Yeah, true. Yeah, especially when you're playing them, which is good. I
Yeah.
mean, like if you play enough shows that you start to forget, I mean, like I don't think that could ever be a bad thing.
Hmm.
So,
Definitely.
so you guys have like a pretty healthy community out there. It sounds like you guys have like a lot of great bands that are going out there, and it seems like the relationship between all the rest of the bands are pretty healthy as well.
Yeah, yeah. At least from what we can see, we're we kind of come from a school of at least the guys we hang around with, a school of get shit done and don't bitch about it. There's nothing to bitch about. So most of the guys I know, they just want to play rock and roll, and they don't want a day job, and they want to live in a van for however long it takes. So we've all got the hunger.
Good. That's fantastic. Because hunger, and it's a hunger that like doesn't ever get satisfied either, which is fantastic.
Yeah, you just want more and more and more and more, like more crowds, more people, more shows. So it's been fun to
Cool. It
see
sounds like
all these guys do it. Um, and it's nice to like hang out with people that have the same kind of drive that you do.
you end up like pushing off each other too when it comes to a point like that. Like no one ever wants to slow down, no one ever wants to grow stagnant. So if you see another band like say like, hey, we're pushing ourselves, you're gonna look at me like, fuck, why aren't we?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If somebody sees you half-assing that, they're not gonna think you're worth anything. So I don't think many of us really believe in that.
True, especially when you guys are like putting out EPs and they're just like, hey, we're in a studio, we're recording new shit. What did I say something about a new EP? Oh, you guys have a new EP that you guys just put
Yeah,
out this past year.
yeah, thick. It
That
was a good one. It was kind of two recording sessions though. Um, I think we meant to maybe make a full length or maybe make two different EPs, but we just picked songs from both sessions and made this one.
I mean, either way, the outcome was still fantastic. I mean, like off an initial listen, I was like, oh shit! Like, I saw the name. I'm not gonna lie, like the name kind of stands out. I was like, Stepsisters. Well, of course, I'm not. I'm definitely gonna look at this. So after looking at it and then like taking a listen, I'm like, it's different. It still has the punk vibes that like all of us are kind of like even though like a lot of the bands that we cover here on Babe Talk, they're very pop punkish. I don't know if you're too familiar with that scene, but it's very like I'm assuming I think you would keep up with like Descendants, like except like if they were in like 2016.
I haven't.
And
I don't necessarily keep up with it. I find it kind of hard to keep up with everything now. But
yeah, it's
wait,
interesting.
you're in Long
But
Island, you said?
I'm in Jersey. I
You're
am
in,
based over
okay, cool.
in about like 20 minutes out of Atlantic City.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That was one thing I was
Yeah,
never
but
told.
Yeah, no, we're digital, so you'll see me reporting from Galloway. There's James Boss, my second in command. He's from Long Island. We're from a lot of different places, but that's the
Cool.
cool thing about the internet,
Yeah.
which is dope. It's not my interview, yours. So you guys had put this out. I mean, you can ask me questions all you want. It's fine, no problem.
I mean, I wrote some
But
down.
so, oh, did you? Okay.
No, I didn't write anything down.
Just same. So, but I have, oh, that, anyway. So we're looking at Thick. We're looking at, the compilation you guys had put together. Was there anything else that came out before this? Because I wasn't able to find anything that you guys had put
No,
to
that
wax.
was the initial one. So we had put out a few songs. I think most of them are on Thick, but we just wanted something out there because we were booking
Hmm.
shows and we didn't have anything recorded to show anybody. Um, so yeah, we put some songs out there, but then once we got Thick put together, we just had the single EP out there.
Which is really cool. Because like I think like if this sets the precedence for like your guys' sound, like if they think you guys are gonna get tighter from this point on, it's definitely like a like just right out of my head. It's gonna be like a forecast of what to expect from you guys. And I know that kind of sounds like a very generic kind of phrase, like, oh, like look what you guys have. It's only gonna reflect other things you guys are gonna put out. But you'll look at other bands and you'll listen to them and you can tell when they're like mundane, when they're like very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And you guys clearly do not have that, which is very cool.
Yeah, I don't think so. So whenever we write something, I think I've said this before, we're always looking for a way. Like, say we got a song and we think it's okay, but we want to tweak the verses or the chorus or the bridge or whatever. We're always looking for a way to uh, just fuck it up in a way that nobody else would. So, like, we had one song that went through maybe six different iterations. Like, by the end of it, it sounded totally different. So we're not happy until it is what it needs to be.
And where do you get to that point? Like, if you guys are going through it so many times, when's just like the no whammy, stop moment?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's more just a kind of just a feeling. Um, I know for Clint, when he's writing and playing stuff, he's got something in his head and he knows how he wants it to sound. So he he conveys that pretty well. But the great thing is, it's not complete until we get the other three guys into it. So we come up with somebody come
Sure.
up with a skeleton of something, and then everybody else fills it in, and then we all just tweak and tweak and tweak until we're all happy individually, and then we think the song sounds cool. Um, I think when we're all happy as like with our parts, that's kind of where the stopping point is when we're all real comfortable with it.
Nice. That's really awesome. Well, let's start to give a peep. Let's give them what they want. Let's have them listen to one of your tracks.
Cool.
We have "Dumb Love" here. That is their last song that you guys have on the Thick EP. You guys also shot a video for this. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, we did.
Not I'm sure. You guys did make a video for it.
Yeah.
It's actually fact. Well,
Yeah,
well,
no,
let's give a
in
listen
fact,
to
not
the
a video
song.
for it. We did the video
Yeah,
ourselves.
it actually exists. Which is cool. I'm gonna ask you. We'll dive into that. We'll first listen to the song, and then we'll ask about that experience because that's something that bands usually don't get into all that often, especially when they're pretty fresh within their own shit. But let's give it a listen. If you want to give a quick synopsis of the song real fast, and we'll let the people get some ear candy.
Cool. Yeah. This is so Clint wrote this song, or at least the lyrics. It came about through three different kind of riffs while we were jamming. and then we just kind of melded them into one thing. It's kind of a love gone awry situation, and also a reflection of how you think in some of those kind of situations. But yeah, Dumb Love's pretty good.
I would say so myself. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. Well, we're gonna stop talking about it, and you guys are gonna fucking listen to it. So yeah, listen to Dumb Love, Stepsisters. Okay, hi.
What's up?
All right, making sure my mic works. The last time I did that check, it didn't. But anyway, I'm gonna compose words really quickly, and hopefully it'll work out well for me. There's like the amount of influences which you guys have is really cool, and especially with that like one of the tags underneath your Bandcamp has like the psychedelic end to it, and I knew that it can kind of like you can get carried away with the music in a very positive manner, and it just like begins to flow, and the chemistry just works out well with all the rest of the band members for it to actually achieve like that level of just like trippy psychedelic like things. And within the one song, I really like the progression within like Witness, which was my personal favorite song, and Dumb Love was really cool because like it eventually does like it takes you. It's
Yeah,
intoxicating,
yeah, it's
and
yeah.
that's like really fucking cool.
I think that was maybe the fourth song we wrote together too.
Man, that's real early shit. That's really cool because now it's just like there's in my head it sounds cool. It's like there's literally like anything that you guys would be able to do from this point on, like and you know that you have that sound down and you're able to tone it, tweak it. You have literally every sound to work with. And it sounds good in my mind, and this is not portraying correctly, but it's cool. You guys have so much work to do, and it's gonna come out really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, we're especially that song. We're proud of it. I'm glad you like Witness. I sing on that one. Um, we switch off, but yeah, no, we got nothing, nowhere to go but up from here. I mean, we're playing better shows, bigger shows, and it's just great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, V true, V true. So before we kind of pull everything up into a little nice bow, we'll the experience of shooting a video, and you guys have done that yourself.
Yeah, we did. So we got together. We knew we were going to do a video, and then so Clint and I kind of came up with a storyline to go through, and then we laid out a shot list. We kind of knew what all we wanted to do, how we wanted it to look, and we hired a local photographer, cinematographer, videographer, I guess, to do all the
Local
shooting
scenes.
for us. So we gave him the shot list and kind of told him the idea, and he was game. We did it all in one night. We we decked out the house. We had smoke machines, and we played a show at the end of the night. And we got a keg. People just got fucked up, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. But the cool thing was that he worked with us on how to get the shots we wanted, and then I essentially just learned how to edit video in a week, and then we did that.
Very cool. Now, do you remember what software you used?
Yeah, I used Adobe Premiere. It's pretty.
Nice. That's one hell of a tool. That's gonna yeah.
Yeah, it was really easy. I'm used to Pro Tools, and it related with the
Mhm.
layout and with the tools and stuff like that. So it was cool to do. Clinton and everybody would come in and we'd look at it, decide if one cut was too short, one was too long. So it was a cool process to go through together.
That's cool. And now that's another tool that you have underneath your, sound engineering, video editor, musician.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we're looking forward to doing the next one too. I'm not sure what song it's going to be for, but we're throwing around some ideas.
Nice. There you go. Don't grow moss. Rolling Stones grow no moss. That's a phrase that I could use here. I'm really 60 years old. Um, so what's coming up for you guys? This is the grand finale. What is the upcoming things that you want to tell your fans and your family and friends and your dogs?
So we've got some
Well,
new
they probably already know.
recordings that are sounding really good. Um, I'm not sure the exact date that we're going to throw some of these out there, but it shouldn't be too long. And then other than that, it's just going to be playing live, playing live, playing live, playing live. Like that's all we're looking forward to doing is getting on the road, playing as many cities, as many venues as possible, and as long as set as we can play, as loud as we can play for as many people. That's all we want to do is just take this gig on the road.
Take it on the road. Show everybody what you guys got because you guys certainly do have something that's going to. I think that like there's like if there was just like easy opportunities for people to just like pick it up and say like oh this is awesome and just instantly get on board, life would be awesome. But I can't wait to see the progression that you guys have. I can't wait for people to actually like get on your sound. It's something 100% worth listening and investing time into. I mean, you know that. I don't have to tell you that. But everyone listening at home, get the fuck on Stepsisters. Stop sleeping. Wake the fuck up.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
So, absolutely. Adam, I do thank you very much for coming on today's show. Again, the fuckery that happened earlier, Mobby, but I'm glad that we at least got the opportunity to sit down and have honest conversation about music, about your guys' shit, and I legit personally cannot wait until there's new shit coming out. So that's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no sweat. I really appreciate you having me on here. It's been a fun conversation.
True, true. It's been real. It's been a real deal. What's going on? So yeah, that's Babe Talk, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna see us next week with a band in which I should absolutely know who it is, but because my name is Ali, I don't. I'm gonna look at my calendar right now and pretend like I know off the top of my head. One for the Braves. I know they're pop punk and I know that they're real cool kids and they're gonna come on the show. That'll be something to look forward to. And then next Thursday is gonna be Spanish Love Songs, which is gonna be another band out of California. They're very interesting, and I saw them off another email, and I heard their sound. I was like, yeah, get on it. So that's gonna be cool. We're gonna have Babe Talk Radio coming up this month, so you guys will hear less of me and more of actual music. I mean, not actual music, music, not my voice. Everyone's music's actual music. Yeah. So you'll see me next week. We got shit going on. You'll see shit on the site. We got cool things coming up. Everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend or tomorrow starts the week. Enjoy life. I'm gonna stop talking. Enjoy bye. Does that work, Adam?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. We'll see everybody next week. Good night, Adam.
Take it easy, man.